Well, it's Monday night, and just got finished with. We have a conference with the jelly teams on Monday nights from 7 until 8:30, and just wrapped that up a little while ago. And I wanted to get a post out tonight, and again, didn't feel like typing, as is sometimes the case. So I thought I'd go to the video here. And just basically talk about a few different things here. First of all, kind of follow up to the weekend posts in terms of this whole idea of catching the rabbit and all that. And first of all, thank you all for responding to that. It's a very interesting situation that I'm in, and most of you hopefully know that a big part of this journal, this diary, this blog, is therapeutic for me. But that's kind of how it started. If you go back to July of last year, and certainly the idea was that people could look on if they're interested. But a lot of what I talk about here is basically thinking out loud. And while I think it's easy for some to kind of look at for example, these last couple of posts and think, who is this guy? I mean, he sounds like Brett Favre, coming back from retirement over and over again, or gee, he's 48, and he's typing as if he's 92 and has one foot in the grave. And I got a couple of notes on that, which I think some were reflected in the blog posts, the comments to the blog post. And I mean, this is great. This is great because some of this I need to hear. I really need to hear it. Um, one post, I forget whether this was via email or via one of the comments, talked about the fact that I shouldn't try so hard. And that probably comes through in spades in the last somewhere in the last 500 posts anyway that I've done. And I guess the teams I've been working with will probably tell you the same thing. I'm type A. I don't like to let up. I'm awful at taking vacations. I'm awful at not being hard on myself. I have to drive myself, and that's who I am. And I'm old enough to recognize that is what makes me tick. Being excited, being motivated, and when I get in situations where I'm looking for that additional motivation, then I'll share that. And as I've said, everything in the blog has always been 100% the God's honest truth. And it's not whether people like it or don't like it. It's somewhat of an autobiography. It's again somewhat therapeutic for me as I go through my various phases in my trading life and in the rest of my life. I got an interesting email tonight that I'm looking at on my other screen here that reminded me that I've got that post in the left-hand margin that talks about from Og Mandino, that I will not allow yesterday's success to lull me into today's complacency, for this is the greatest foundation of failure. If we haven't forgotten about that, it is again in the left-hand margin. And he's reminding me to do some things. I think I know a few of you have suggested that I ramp up the size as a way to get back motivated. It's interesting because I'm trying to qualify for the Foxwoods World Poker Finals, which are being held over the next month or so, and so I'm playing in what's called some feeder events, which are some lesser tournaments that if you win you can move on. Instead of paying $10,000 to play in the final, which is what you would have to pay to buy in, you can buy in for a couple $100 or $1,000, and if you do well enough you can move up. And as I was doing that over this past weekend, I was reminding myself that again I'm looking for ways to always looking for ways to jumpstart my motivation and how I do things. And so anyway, playing poker, I decided to sit at this high stakes poker game. And usually I'm playing one $2 tables or two $10 tables, two $5 tables. And I sat at a 5-10 table. $5 meaning $5 and $10 are the forced bets that come around to you every time the deal comes around. And what happens is the higher the blinds, the more that the pots build up, and I was literally getting in a situation where there were thousands of dollars at stake on poker hands. And what I learned by that experience was that in my card playing, it seemed that I needed to have something on the line. I needed to feel something to ramp up my focus even more and to play to my best potential. And so I found that in that game, I quickly started paying more attention. And did okay. I didn't make any money in that particular round when this was outside of the tournament. This was a cash game. Um, but I noticed the focus ramped up a notch. So I certainly agree that when I'm in a situation where I start ramping up my size again here, then that may very well help. And that was certainly mentioned in a couple of places. The other item that this gentleman mentions in his email is that and it's an interesting point. He mentioned that my blog is the only trading related blog that he reads, mainly because I don't post charts, uh, which in his words, can unduly influence people's own trading, and I totally get that. I totally get that. And we talked about that a little bit, tonight in terms of the team. Um, and I know some of you are probably looking for more charts and posts, and I've thought about a few different things. Maybe we do something like trade of the week, or and they won't always be good trades, but something to occasionally talk about it. But this has always been by and large well beyond that in terms of what this is about. I don't like to look back at past sequences, good, bad, or indifferent, because we need that continual refreshing of the mental slate. Um, I don't like to look back at trades. Um, I'm still continually challenged with needing to look ahead. Again, it's admittedly been difficult when you reach a certain level in your career and in your ability and in what is feasible. And you reach the pinnacle of the industry, if you will, and it is damn hard to not think about that. As much as I always want to be looking ahead, so that's in part what prompted the last two posts over the weekend. And again, I appreciate all the feedback. I really do. Obviously we try to have some fun with this. The formal teaching is starting to ebb now. By the way, I will be working with a very small group. I'm not advertising, but if you're interested, I got a very small group I'm going to be working with, a handful of people over the next couple of weeks. If you're interested, email me. If you're not, great. I am very close to returning to trading full time as a 100% trader and 0% teacher. I have told a few people that I will honor my mentioning that I'll spend the next few weeks working with them live. But I'm close. I am close to. I've been able to use the last couple of months to get my passion rekindled, to build a foundation, I'm very much looking forward to the rest of this year and into 2010. So those are some things. I came within two people, by the way, of making the Foxwoods tournament in one of the efforts I played in last weekend. So I got my work cut out for me because I want to play in that, and I'm trying to do so in a smart way where I'm not paying a lot of money to do it. So as I've often said, when my my poker is going well, my trading's going well. So those are a few thoughts on a Monday night. We'll keep the blog going. I'll have more to say, I'm sure, as the week goes on. And I hope everybody's trading's going well. Interesting. We'll probably get a little bit of a morning after trend day action tomorrow. So look for some, hopefully, some early oscillations. Align yourself with a longer term trend if you can. And I'll let it go at that. Have a great night, and we'll catch you later. See ya.